Hello, my friends. How you doing? Your buddy Phil here, project management trainer and coach. We got a few chats in from one of our friends on our Savage on Saturday Phase 2 group. So I wanted to give a shout out to Mohannad for his continuous unraveling of the PMBOK guide. And there have been a few chats or comments today. And there's one that I'd like to address. It is the project schedule may be updated to reflect the status of communication activities. And then he goes further to say, communication activities, as far as I know, the project schedule is the linked activities with planned dates, durations, milestones, and resources. Communication activities sound weird to me. So what he's talking about is really from the PMBOK guide. If you care to follow along, it's on page 387. And there's a bullet, the third bullet under section 10.2.3.3 on project documents updates. So the question is, project schedule as one of the project documents updates? Yeah, you can actually get any of those knowledge areas updated in the schedule depending on what kind of activities they are. For example, quality, it would surprise me if I go to chapter 8. I'm going to take a trip down there now, but it would surprise me if someone, somewhere like chapter 8 in quality assurance or quality control did not have any mention of that, at least for consistency. So if I go to manage quality, I can see mention of a schedule baseline possibly being updated. That doesn't surprise me. You see, it cuts across everywhere. If we go to the specific place where they mention project management plan updates as an output, it states under schedule baseline, it says a schedule baseline may change as a result of specific quality management activities. You see, it cuts across the board. You could get updates to any part of your plan or any part of a living, breathing document as a result of a knowledge area. So while every process outside of schedule management that happens in monitoring and controlling and executing is not filled with updates, just know that those updates are bound to happen. If you are communicating, you should be updating your schedule, because those schedule activities are key milestones. They're key milestones. They often say the project manager spends 70 to 90% of the time communicating. So why wouldn't you update the major thing you are doing on the project? You see, Mohannad, and that's why that appears as an update, because communication is huge. It's big. That's what the PM spends 70 to 90% of the time doing. So it doesn't surprise me one bit to see that, okay? All right, let's go to Mohannad's next comment. Mohannad says, what is the best time to chart out the chapter processes? After completing the chapter or passing all the knowledge areas? I would say you want to be doing it bit by bit. So do it in steps as you're going through chapter 1 or chapter 2 or chapter 3. Those are definitions, not necessarily stuff to chart out. By the time you hit chapter 4, you want to be charting out different processes and how they interact or outputs from one process going to another. So by all means, Mohannad, as you cover each chapter, just take some time out, because that is what is going to show you that you have actually absorbed what you're reading. All right. The next one here is global, regional, or local trends and practices. Organizational communication requirements. What does this EEF and OPA refer to? So talking about global, okay, Jude has replied to you. I see that. But let me just give you my take. So global, regional, or local trends and practices. If you're in a particular geographic location where there is a trend towards a particular behavior or towards a particular brand or towards a particular product or towards a particular norm, and if that affects your project, it is a factor. For example, people may not be given to certain games, and you want to open up a franchise that involves that game. Ain't nobody going to go there. For example, someone wants to open up a cricket tournament franchise office. That ain't going to work here very well. There might be one or two spots, odd spots in the United States where that works, but ain't nobody playing cricket. Soccer is even hard enough. Talk less cricket. You know what I mean? So you got to look for those trends, folks. You got to look for those trends. And if it applies to your project, those trends could affect your project. It's a factor. That's all they're saying. Global trends, regional trends, local trends. For example, social media is here to stay. And if your project involves communicating with people, quickly, rapidly, and you say, no, we don't want to go on social media, you're deceiving yourself because that has become a global trend. Like people who, are holding out like the resistance. We're not going on Facebook. All right. Keep saying we're not going on Facebook. You're going to crack eventually and join the bandwagon. So that's all this is saying. Global, regional, or local trends and practices. You need to think about those. And then regarding the OPA, organizational communication requirements, see where that is in the guide. So I can point you to what Mohannad is referring to. This is under organizational process assets, page 369, under communications. Okay, makes sense. So it says organizational communication requirements. So if your organization has certain standard operating procedures for communicating, like if you're sending out a memo, they've got guidelines for how to do that. If you're organizing a press conference, you got to go through certain channels. You got to go through HR, or you got to go through a particular department that gets involved in that. That's all they're trying to tell you. They're just trying to tell you that if you've got certain communication requirements, things you need to do as you communicate or before you communicate or while you're communicating, just observe those. All right. But these are great questions because it shows me that you're digging into the detail and you really want to understand the stuff. So that is very good. Let's see what else. So another question is, what is the best time to make Appendix X6 or to study Appendix X6? Is it during the study or during the review? My suggestion to you, Mohannad, is if you come across a tool and technique that you have never seen before or jumps out at you as new, you need to open up to page 686 to page 694, and you need to find out where all of those instances of that tool and technique appear. For example, if you're going through and you discover decomposition, well, find out where else does this tool and technique appear. Don't just do it at the high level. Don't just do it at the data analysis, data gathering level. No. Dig to the lower level of detail. Or SWOT analysis. Where does that appear? Or, so on and so forth. All those rare tools and techniques. All right. Let me see if there's any more from Mohannad on this page. I don't think there's anything else. I think we caught them all. I think that was the last one. The last question, which cracked me up, was this phrase about dashboards and heat reports and stoplights. And he was wondering, what on earth are these? Well, Jude jumped into the rescue. And I want to thank Jude for jumping in and helping our friend Mohannad, because this group is meant to be all about helping people. Like Jude got certified last year. Jude, I can't remember when you got certified. I believe it was the early part of 2018. But it's all about jumping in to help people as you can. You find someone struggling on this group. If you're a PMP, I call on all my bosses. They're all out there. They know who they are. Dustin, Camille, Smita, Emily. I haven't seen much from you, Emily. Not the Emily who trains with me, another Emily. One of my students who is now a boss. But, Jude, all of you. Chris, all of you guys who are out there, you're killing the exam. You need to be helping other people kill it as well. So I can't really find this this mention of a heat map. Oh, heat reports. So this is under 10.2.1.3 on page 382. And they're only describing for you these work performance reports and why they are relevant inputs to manage communications. And it says here on page 382, work performance reports are circulated to the project stakeholders through this process, as defined in the communications management plan. Examples of work performance reports include status report and progress reports. Work performance reports can contain earned value graphs and information, trend lines and forecasts, reserve burn down charts, defect histograms, contract performance information, and risk summaries. They can be presented as dashboards, heat reports, stoplight charts, and that's where it went pear-shaped for Mohannad. But Jude jumped into the rescue, wore the Superman cape, and jumped in to help with some images there. So I really appreciate the engagement. I'm glad you're finding value from the group. You're getting responses quick. People are getting back to you even before I see your chat. So well done. Keep doing that. And before you know it, you'll be a PMP, Mohannad. Let's get this thing done. Let's keep knocking it out of the park. You know what I like about that last question that you asked? You went through 4 lines. In fact, let me take a look at what happened there. You went through 4 lines of text before you got to the heat reports and stoplight charts. So that tells me that you are actually reading every word. Way to go. Way to go. Great stuff. Well, don't forget, I'm here to help you and answer questions. So if you've got any questions you want me to help you out with, you know what to do. Just put them in the chat and I'll get back to you, okay? Take care and have a great weekend. Make sure you put in the time this weekend. Take advantage of the Saturday. Bye for now.